Chris here again at Square One Studios. I rented a U-Haul because I have not sold my little CRV and upgraded to a 4Runner as I would like, which is crazy that I used to have a 4Runner. I used to have a couple. Great vehicles, want to bring one back into my life for this purpose, and but in the interim I had to rent this, so I got a delivery today of this 4x8 piece of plywood. I wanted to be further in the build so I could take this directly inside, so I'm gonna have to rush for a full day of demo, get all the old floor out. So I got delivery of this and I said, you know what, I gotta rent a trunk anyway to move this thing, why don't I go ahead and get all the subfloor. So made the most of this truck to get these few pieces. Also picked up a 20 gauge metal stud to see if that's gonna work in the wall, which I'll get into later. So I guess just a little shout out to U-Haul. This was 4 hours for 20 bucks plus I don't know what it was per mile. So Home Depot is only like 20 bucks for 75 minutes. So I didn't want to have to rush that much. So after I took delivery of this, I discovered there was a little damage. So I notified the manufacturer. I'll show you up here. Definitely disappointed, but I don't think I'm going to need this piece. I'm going to cut it off. So this is a 4x8. This is going to be my desk, table, like dinette area, as well as the bed. So obviously I don't need it to be as large as a 4x8, so I can cut down some of this. So there's some damage here. It sustained a pretty big hit. So what I'm going to do is put this through a CNC machine. Here at Square One, they offered I could use their machine if it's available. So I want to leave this in its kind of large format. I could have ripped it down to put it in my car, but I want to leave it large so I can maximize the space. So I'm going to put in, I think, Fusion. My buddy Matt told me about Fusion, and I can put it all in a design program and then make sure I maximize the space out of this, put it through CNC, let that router cut out exactly. So I wanted this 3-ply, bamboo ply, because obviously aesthetically I really like these lines. They call this like fossilized, so it's real strong. I tested the samples and it does take on water if you put a cup on it. So I'm gonna need to coat it with the clear coat, varnish, something like that. So I gotta figure that out. But anyway, so I'm gonna use the strong plywood or bamboo plywood for other pieces like the structural support for the upper and lower bed, things like that. So I'm gonna try and really get the most out of this strong and not inexpensive. I think it was about $250 just for this piece, whereas this plywood was like 23 bucks. It's a BCX plywood. I want to talk a little bit about this. So why did I choose this? So first of all, the floor in here right now, if I had a piece to show you, I actually forgot the keys to get in there. So, but it looks like it's the same. It's plywood versus oriented strand board, OSB, so and this is 15/32, so just under shy of ½ inch thick. So first of all, I wanted this over OSB because of the weight. That's more engineered and glued, so it's heavier. And I also, didn't want to go thicker in this because first of all, this is what's existing in there, and there doesn't seem to be issues with sagging. And I did a little research, talked to the guy there at Home Depot, very helpful. He was saying that, there are standards based on joist distances, what thickness you want for plywood. So I'm not going to cite this perfectly, but you can do some of your own homework if you're going to do this. But essentially, if you are, for instance, 16 inches on center from your joist, and in here there's 2x4s between, and I believe there's 16, if not less, you don't need anything thicker than this 15/32. And if you move up all the way to like 7/8 thickness for plywood, you can go as far as 30+ inches between joists. So again, I think this is fine. I don't think it's going to give. It's what's in there, and by code, even though I'm not building this to for inspection purposes to code, in that sense, I do want it to apply as much as possible. And certainly, obviously, those are guidelines are there for a reason. So if that's what they recommend, best to follow that if you can. So that's about it right now. I'm gonna unload this heavy piece. This is about 100 pounds. I wish I had a friend here. Lots of people working today, square one, but again, in my kind of agreement, gentleman's agreement, I didn't want to interrupt their operation, so I'm not going to go in there and ask for a hand. Someone help me load it in, but I should be okay. Hopefully not get any more damage to it. All right, so next you're going to see me hopefully finalizing the demo, at least to the floor, so I can get this stuff in there and, you know, secured and ready to go. All right, bye. So we are nearing the end of demo day 6, I believe. It was a pretty productive day, starting with the delivery of that 4x8 bamboo ply that I'll share the footage before with. And I still had that truck running for 24 hours, but I had to pay per mile. So I decided to move this sheet of insulation with strapped to my CRV. Really not a good idea, but I crept real slow. And just made it, so without issue. So I'm going to kind of do a run through the end of the day, effectively, on demo day 6 here, talk about a few things. So, all right, let's see here. We'll start with this. I had to go get a pipe wrench because this is the water supply, and I need to get that tank out of the way to take the rest of the floor out and start working on this corner, of course, and then start, as I'd like to do, as I plan on doing. I'll do one 4x8, floor, walls, roof, 4x8, full floor, walls, roof, all the way down. That's going to be 4 times, and I'll figure out if I'm going to do the bathroom. So that's kind of the process of the construction phase of after I'm done with the demo. So right now I'm demoing the whole front side, and to get all the wood out, I need to take this off. So I got a pipe wrench to undo this, take the tank out. I'll tell you later more about it, but I'm thinking I'm going to reuse that tank for a water harvesting system down the line. But because I already got a new little cover here for this with pressure regulating valve and everything built in. So that means I probably can't use that existing tank with the new fitting I'm putting on there, but I can still use that tank. You can see the lot is clear here. It kind of pans out. They start early, I guess around 7, and they're done by 4, and it's after 5 right now. So it's just me. All right, I'll do the rest of the walk around. Got a broom there. Pulled some more crap out. This is the most, from the outside perspective, both apparent progress. I've got the flooring from Cali Bamboo, that bamboo plywood from Cali Bamboo that you saw earlier, and bamboo poles, pack 25 from Cali Bamboo as well. So, and they're all in a pallet. That's going to go in there at the end of this day here shortly, but I need to finish cleaning out the floor. So I did a little more demo, as I mentioned. Obviously it's demo day 6, and I want to kind of go through some of the things and capture what else I have. Okay, so coming in here, you see that it's progressing. I wouldn't want to say nicely yet. Some random things. These are some insect traps, rat traps, I don't know, just bait that was underneath here in the kitchen. I took the refrigerator out. I'm going to take it home and test it, clean it up. If it works, probably hold on to it and decide at what point if I have the money to upgrade the refrigerator right away or just sell on Craigslist. And I don't know if I talked about this before, if you saw it. This whole section here had new sheets of plywood. Now, the plywood I bought was 11/32, a little less than ½ inch. That was what was existing, and I explained on the previous video talking about what size plywood you want to use. So I matched, turns out what I bought, in fact, matches what was there, and that's what I was hoping. I measured the studs on center. They're 12 inches, and for ½ inch, you have to have a minimum of maximum of 16, so that's good. So I don't think they'll bow. You can see here, these 2x4s have been replaced, and you can tell that. So not only did he put new bits of plywood there in little sections where it was, rotted out, he put new 2x4s, and those obviously aren't 12 inches on center. That is the original over there, that red, and I don't know if that's cedar or what the material is. And then the one underfoot here, also one of the old ones. So clearly that to that is more than 12 inches. It even looks more than 24 center to center. But, you know, I may play with the placement on these 2x4s and figure all that out. And then, so what else did I discover? Some even the existing wood was still rotted. You could see there, this whole section was soft underfoot. And over here, it's wet on this, on the metal. And in fact, if you look closely here, there's a hole. You can put my finger through to the floor. Not good. I'm going to save as much as this existing flooring as I can. I don't know if I can patch it, but I don't want to buy a whole new roll of that, you know, that aluminum that I think that it is. But you can see over there, it's still wet. It's kind of hard. Let's see if I can focus. See if that, I don't know if I can zoom in. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, it's still wet because I had that big rain over the weekend. And this one I'm on, actually, watch my footing, is a little notched out right there. So have to decide if I'm gonna, you know, replace that piece entirely or what. And let's see what else I can tell you. And then you can see here some of what I took out. That it's that piece was over here in this corner. So it's interesting that all the insulation, this fiberglass insulation, which can retain moisture, it was not, what's the word? It did not have a backing, unbacked. So the benefit of the backing, as I just learned recently, is that that is in itself a vapor barrier. So this is metal, aluminum can condensate. It should have had a backing on it, so this fiberglass doesn't take on water. But nonetheless, it looked fine. It was just down here, where I guess where it was pooling, coming down the wall or what, unless it's coming in a different way. But I would think naturally it'd be the windows and down. So, all right, let's see. Okay, you can see here around the lights, and I don't like that. There's no seam tape or anything. Water can come right through that hole. And I'm gonna switch over to this side. Same thing, right there. And then look how they notched out all the wiring. I think this is all trailer lights. For driving, notched it out. That affects the structural integrity there a little bit. Keeps going. This is the most intact wall. So again, you can see it's batt fiberglass insulation. As you saw outside on top of my car, I'm going with that XPS fiber, and it is actually better. I'll tell you why I went with that quickly before I forget it. This stuff, this batt fill, is less expensive. It's about 45 cents per square foot, versus this is about 75. That's Owen Corning. This is about 75 cents per square foot. But the R value of that is better than this, and the vapor barrier is kind of built in. It's moisture resistant, close cell, I think you would call it, but it's not going to take on water like this will, especially because this doesn't have that backing. So the R value of that, I got 1.5, it's 7.5 R, but if you just break it down to, you know, 1 inch is 5 R for the XPS board, and this is, what is it, like 3.2 or 3.7? Let's see, I ran some numbers, not that it was anything tough, but okay, yeah, there it is, 3.15. So, you know, not much, but, you know, significant. So if you wanted to get the same R value, this is 7.5, this is 3 per inch, versus 5 inch, I would have to go to, what is that, like, I don't know, 2 plus, 2.25 or something, and that I can accomplish with that in 1.5. Now, if you notice, these are 1x2s. I'm going to try the metal studs and maybe take this to a 2x4. That's going to take space into and away from the interior square footage, but I can put more insulation. So if you're saying, wait a minute, Chris, that existing insulation looks like it's, you know, maybe 1 inch behind here, and you're putting that stuff in, that's 1.5 inches. Well, I'm going to cut it into place here, and I'll probably put regular studs in there, metal frame studs, so I can put more insulation. Okay, off of that till you actually see it in place. I cut through this existing pipe so I can use the pipe wrench and take this good-looking tank out of here for now. And I guess that's about it. No, I'll tell you one more thing. Not a big deal. This hopefully didn't make you dizzy there. The guy that, or gal, or whoever owned this before, the family, they did a little, you know, mods. I have told you about how they put this wood in there that was wrought, just kind of stop gap and clean it up, and it was a good job. They did things too, like when they put in the new refrigerator here, I'm assuming there was, maybe it was just an ice box from the 70s. I think refrigerators are around. It's kind of pathetic that I don't know that. But anyway, they had this here, and then it was right above the refrigerator, which sat below. What I'm going to do, if I reuse that fridge, put it higher off the ground, and you know, maybe put some wood like that at the bottom versus the top, so it's more ergonomic to get into the refrigerator. I took this out. That was that. It was that system to tell you how much is in water is actually in the freshwater tank. Took that out. It's kind of a relic right there. I'm going to try and, you know, use it as some sort of novelty piece somewhere, some sort of item, but I don't think there's any way I can bring that back to life. Okay, so with that, you know, I'm going to put all the materials in here after I do a little bit more demo and take this tank out. I'll just show you my little friend. I don't know if you saw this before, but I actually have a little wasp that's has been here since day one, and he seems content to not leave. So I don't know if he's just, you know, intellectually curious as to how the construction process works, or these guys are just oblivious. But he seems to be hanging around and hasn't bit me yet, so, or bite me or stung me or whatever, right? Stung. So I'm gonna let him be and see if he sticks it out. All right, with that, thanks for joining, and till next time.